Hi, it's Karon Thackston with marketingwords.com and copywritingcourse.com, and I've got some really interesting information about consumer behavior to share with you. I have, in retrospect, been noticing a lot of what I'm about to tell you over the last few years without realizing that this was a new technique that was being developed. And the first clue that I had about this was when I stumbled upon a book called The Power of Habit while I was on Amazon. And I'll put a link to this book on the Marketing Words blog underneath this video. So you can click over to marketingwords.com/blog and see it there if you happen to be watching this video on a different site. This book, The Power of Habit, really changed the way that I think about consumer behavior. As I was reading it, there are many case studies in there, and a lot of them pertain to marketing specifically. Febreze air freshener and fabric refresher, I think is what they call it. There were some case studies in there about human beings and their lives where the power of habit came in. There were other marketing studies that pertain to Target and how they used habits that people have as they shop to be able to sell more products to customers. It's amazing. We are very much creatures of habit, as the saying goes, but to break these habits down and see the consumer behavioral side of how we shop and how we interact with our consumer world is really very fascinating. So I highly recommend that you look at The Power of Habit. I have also seen a lot of other marketers who've referenced this book. So habit and behavior design are really coming into their own. Now, about the same time that I picked up this book and started reading all the wonderful information that's in it, I also came across a man called Dr. B.J. Fogg, and he is a professor at Stanford University 50% of the time. He's not full-time at Stanford. The other part of his time is spent on behavior design in the corporate world. And you may think of this as employees and things of that nature, but there are a lot of marketing applications to what he's doing. And much of what Dr. Fogg is doing with behavior design also falls into the realm of habit. As a matter of fact, he has an experiment on his site that you can participate in, and I'll put a link to that under the video on the Marketing Words blog as well. You can participate in what he calls the 3 Tiny Habits program. And these go into using motivation, a trigger, and victory, some sort of celebration, in order to create habits very quickly. Now, when I saw this, I had a flashback of sorts to advertisements I am now seeing on television and had seen on television, and a couple of websites that I have bumped into that seem to possibly be using some of this information in one form or another. And I want to show you really quickly how a lot of this habit and behavior design are coming into play in marketing. So let's click over to YouTube. I want you to watch this Nicorette gum commercial. This goes into habits, and it breaks down what smokers typically do. This is one of the commercials. There are several of them. Some of them take place at a bar. Well, smoking and drinking go together. Some of them take place at a restaurant and a person has just finished eating. Maybe I think at one of the commercials, the person is out with some friends at lunch, co-workers or whatnot, and they finished eating and they say, you want to go outside and have a cigarette? And he's like, you know, this is what I normally do. This is the habit. So it goes in reverse on breaking habits, but you'll see that it also plays on the victory, on the celebration, because that is ultra important in developing habits in your personal life or when it comes to consumer behavior. So watch how this particular commercial unfolds.
Celebrate a little win. Nicorette gum helps boost your willpower by calming your cravings and making you less irritable. So you can quit one cigarette at a time until you reach your goal.
You see what happened? It goes into sitting in the car in traffic, bored. You're stuck. You have nowhere to go. You have nothing to do. So smokers would light up a cigarette. And this woman looks over and the man in the car next to her is lighting up a cigarette. And she's thinking, oh crap, now what are we going to do? My habit would say that I should be smoking, but I'm trying to quit. So Nicorette is using the power of habit in their advertisements to show people how to break the habit. And you'll notice, I don't know how good you could hear it, the volume was very low, that she put a piece of gum, Nicorette gum, in her mouth, and then here come these little people out to help her celebrate her new habit, because that is so important in instilling habits. So very interesting use of behavior design and habit when it comes to marketing. Let's look at one more. This one is a Febreze commercial, and to read in the book The Power of Habit, the case study on Febreze is just fascinating, because this product almost was not. They thought they had a winner, but when they tried to market it in the initial way that they planned on, it just bombed. Absolutely bombed. And the way they discovered how to position this and that it dealt with this habit formation was really amazing. This too dealt with a celebration effect. So watch this commercial. Maybe this is a little bit louder. As a matter of fact, let me turn the volume up before I start the commercial. Okay, let's see.
Febreze eliminates odors and leaves carpets fresh.
What happens with this, and what the makers of Febreze found out, was that originally people would use Febreze to make themselves feel good after they cleaned. Once it looked clean, they wanted it to smell clean. So the habit, the trigger, was cleaning the house, putting away the toys. In this case, in the children's room, she put all the toys in the toy box, and you see her, as she's putting them away, she's spraying Febreze because it looks clean, and her little celebration, her little party after cleaning is that it now smells clean too. And this is what they found out was the initial main reason why people purchased Febreze. So it's really fascinating information. I am going to be doing a lot more research on this, and I will bring you more information about behavior design and habits as it pertains to copywriting and marketing in the future. But I did want to share with you just a little bit about what I found recently and get you to start paying attention when you're watching TV, when you go to websites, when you find other information, because it's really fascinating how this is coming into our mainstream advertising right now. This is Karon Thackston with marketingwords.com and copywritingcourse.com. I hope you have a great week.